Hey guys, it's Rice here, and today I'll be talking about a new system that I've built. So this is known as Twig, right? Otherwise abbreviated as the web is great. So let's organize things. So briefly speaking, it is a web tool that allows you to build a graph of resources. So for example, if I hover over node 2 over here, you can see that here is the title, right? It stands for run length encoding, which is a concept. And I've added some resources for it. I can add more resources. I can paste in links over here, and I can write short descriptions about the links over here. So yeah, so how do I add something new, right? So to press, there are various modes in Twig. So you can see the modes over here in the instructions panel, right? The four main modes are going to be move. So you press M on the keyboard to activate the move, which is the move mode, which is the mode can be seen over here as well. So if you're in a move mode, you can pan around, right? Your perspective. You can drag nodes around, or you can press Control and select multiple nodes and move them around. Yeah, so that's how you move around, and you can also use a scroll bar to zoom in and out. So yeah, then for the next mode you can try out is Vertex. So Vertex is mode, when you press V, you can see that the mode over here has changed into adding a Vertex mode. You can press on the area to add vertices, and yeah, it will add vertices for you. If you press on an existing vertex, right, it will not add one over it. It will visit that vertex instead. Yeah, so the next mode, so when you add a vertex, right, you can, the natural thing you want to do is to change the title over here. So for example, I want to um I want to talk about electromagnetism over here, and over here later I'll paste in a link. Yeah, but let's talk about adding edges. So for example, right, if I've added an electromagnetism tab, and let's say for node 8, let's call it quantum electrodynamics. So as we know, clearly electromagnetism is a prerequisite for quantum chromodynamics, quantum electrodynamics, QED. And so personally, I represent that as an edge between 7 to 8. So I go into I press E, or I press the E on the keyboard, go into the add edge mode, and you see that the mode has changed into the add edge mode over here. I press from node 7 to node 8, and you see that it has added an arrow indicating the direction. You are able to add edges from a node to itself, which is a loop like that, although it doesn't really make sense. And you are able to add edges, bidirectional edges like this, although that doesn't really make sense in my interpretation of the edges as prerequisites. But just note that it's possible, right? And the final mode is the delete mode. So the delete mode, you press D, right? You press D to enter the delete mode, and you can wait, if you are in the delete mode and you press anywhere on the blank space, then you will change into the move mode, so you don't accidentally delete stuff. But if you are in the delete mode, you can delete edges, right? Or you can delete entire nodes as well. So when you delete a node, all the edges disappear. Yeah. So let's say you have screwed up, right? Let's say I've accidentally deleted the node 6. I can press Ctrl Z and it'll bring it back. I can press Ctrl Z to bring back my edge as well. There's some slight formatting issues here, but it's purely cosmetic. So yeah. So if I want to redo a edit, right? So let's say I add a node over here, I add the edge from 9 to 7, and I undo it. If I want to redo, I can press Ctrl R to redo it. Yeah, so there's Ctrl Z and Ctrl R are undo and redo respectively. Okay, so lastly, we can press Ctrl F to search, right? So if let's say over here I have a note that says electromagnetism. Let's say I add the Wikipedia article over here. So let's wiki electromagnetism. So you can copy the link over here and paste it into this. And let's say, oh, copy and paste. And over here, let's say we write a short description for the link we just pasted. So I write wiki intro to electromagnetism. So if I go ahead and press the open button over here, it'll open the wiki, it'll open the link that I pasted. And I can go ahead and add more resources as well. To delete a resource, just make sure that both fields are empty and if I hover over it, you see that it's gone. Yeah. So how does the searching feature work, right? I can press Control F, or I can press this search area over here, this search field, and then I can type some keywords. So for example, I want to search EM as a keyword, but the keyword must be more than 3 letters in order for the search to happen. So if I search intro, you can see that I search intro, one result over here is intro to electromagnetism. And I click on it, and it will bring me to this note 7. So yeah, so for example, note 3 over here is the keyword useful. So if I search useful, then it'll bring me to note 3. Okay, so yeah, so okay, so now onto the more the tricks you can use, right? So because I personally use this software for a lot of YouTube videos. So I added a shortcut. So if, for example, I add a vertex over here, and this link over here, if I paste in the YouTube link, so let's just paste in this link from Yannick Kilcher, channel on machine learning. Then if I paste it in, and as soon as I click away, I have used Google YouTube API to obtain the description in the video. This is the description. I put down, you can see that this is the description, and as well as the title of the video. And it also automatically adds these things called tags. So tags are things that I have not mentioned previously, but tags are things that you can add to nodes, you can add to vertices, and they basically they help you categorize your vertices. I'll add future features. In future, I'll add more features where you can merge certain nodes based on tags. But for now, the tags are they're also a way, they're just a way to categorize your nodes. I'll add some searching features involving tags in future. In addition to that, I've also made it such that you can drop in an entire playlist. So let's say I have a playlist for 804 quantum physics over here. And so if I add one node right over here and I replace the link here with the playlist, and as soon as I press away, you see that Twig has automatically created a chain for me, right? The first one being the playlist name, and then the second one being the first video in the playlist. This third node over here being the second video in the playlist, and all of them are propagated with the descriptions, the text, as well as the lecture title. So it's an entire chain, right? And you can see that each one is a prerequisite for the next one. So yeah, automatically assume that the order that you watch the playlist in is the order for the prerequisites. So of course you can, if you want to make edits, you can certainly do it yourself. So for example, you can delete this edge over here, and perhaps let's say you want to swap 18 and 19 over, or you want to do something like that. You can do any edits you want, right? So yeah, and lastly, right, let's talk about text. So let's say there's so many text over here, and I want to delete some text. So let's say I want to delete explained, right, the keyword explained. I can right click the tag to remove it. So let's say I want to remove learning to sort a list over here, and it has removed it as well. If I want to add a tag, I can go over here. I just need to press this is my tag, right? And I can either press enter, or I can press the add button over here to add the tag. And yeah, so the tag helps you keep track of the categories. So I can remove it by pressing right click as well. So yeah, there are some small bugs, such as when you remove a tag, right? When you add a tag, the title disappears. This is purely cosmetic. If you hover over it, you see that the tag is there again. And I would be sure to iron out these bug fixes. But as of now, the main features are there. So now that you're done, right, with now that you're done with constructing your graph, you want to save it for future progress. So do note that if I refresh it, right, it automatically saves it in my in the local session. So you will not lose your progress if you refresh it. And even if you close the tab and revisit it again, your progress will be there. So it's stored on your hard drive. But in addition to that, I also allow you to export the progress. So for example, I can name the graph over here. Do note that it's only going to auto-save. It's only going to save it in your hard drive automatically, such that when you refresh, you can get it back. It's only going to do that if you have the auto-save option here checked. It's also saving it in this. If I want to export it, right, I need to give it a file name. So let's just say this is a YouTube demo. So I'll name it YouTube demo. You don't need to add any extensions, right? And you click the export button over here and allow downloads. So now it has downloaded the YouTube demo.xml, and this is the code that this is the information. Yeah. So let's say I've gone ahead and let's just say I've imported some other file. Okay, so I do some other edits over here, and let's say after a while, right, I want to bring back my YouTube demo. So I'll go over, navigate to the folder, YouTube demo.xml. It saves the XML file. And if I open it, you can see that it has opened again. So that's for the option of downloading your file. But of course, if you have downloaded too many files, then your naming will be a bit troublesome. So I allow the option of saving it to Google Drive. So there's a button over here saying export to Google Drive. Right, you're going to need to log into your account. Yeah, so if you see anything saying that is unsafe, that's just because I haven't verified the app. So if you trust me, you can go ahead and go to advanced and click proceed to unsafe. But in this case, they didn't prompt me for it. So this, we can check what service I basically require. This app basically requires permissions for you to it requires you to grant it permissions to edit the files that it creates. So if I click continue, then it's going to say saved into the file name over here, TWIGSLOT YouTube demo. So you can see I prepended a TWIGSLOT over here. And that means that if I, let's say, I open up some other files, right, and then I can import from my Google Drive. You see that over here, I have TWIGSLOT YouTube demo. So I can select it, and it will automatically import my previous progress. So I can go ahead and edit more stuff, and I can export to Google Drive, and it replace the existing file, right, there. So yeah, so if I can import it again, and see that I've recovered my previous progress. So I hope that you find this tool useful. Right, currently the only support the automatic loading has is for YouTube videos and YouTube playlists, but I do intend to add things for archive papers as well as Wikipedia articles, and perhaps just any general website as well. So I hope you enjoy this too. I hope the tutorial has been informative. I apologize for my very ugly web design, right? But this is the bare bones functionality, and I think it's at least reasonable to use it. So after, yeah, I hope if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments below. And if not, have a nice day.